Nah, come on. Church, when it comes to Kirsten and Shaq, how much of yourself can you change before you don't recognize yourself anymore? I got my notes. I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into this damn mess. All right, y'all, so let's jump right on in. Now, listen, y'all know I can't breathe in this damn thing, okay? I damn near suffocate myself, okay? Listen, come through, head wrap. All right, so to my returning church members, baby, welcomes. And to all my new people, please make sure to smash that subscribe button and to also click that bell notification so you are notified every time I decide to upload a video. Now, baby, listen, my outfit and my spirit today are giving S&M, okay? Because y'all know I may be bad, but I'm perfectly good at it. Now, let's get on into some hot topics because we ain't done hot topics in a minute, right? So listen, y'all, I'm loving this whole lace, leather and lace thing I got going on here. Okay, listen, it's giving, right? It's giving. Okay, back to hot topics. Listen, first and foremost, baby, y'all need to hire Dr. Pia full time, okay? Married at First Sight producers, y'all need to hire her full time, all right? The energy that she gives, the intelligence level, the youth that she provides to the damn show. Listen, I love Dr. Pepper and I love Pastor Cal, but if you let the truth be told, honey, both of them is getting a little bit long in the tooth. And I'm not age shaming, I'm just speaking facts, okay? Can we speak facts today? And sometimes you just need somebody with a little bit newer energy in order to just come in and, give the people something that they haven't had before, or give them a newer version of what they haven't had before, or a newer version of what they have had before, right? Now listen, I thought her insights were amazing. I love that she's a psychologist and a sex therapist, right? Because listen, I can go down the sex route with you, or I can give you a good old, psychology read, okay? That's the intelligence level that she brings, and I love it for this show. Now, I like, Devon Franklin, which is, what's her name? Megan Good's ex-husband. Last season, I thought he had some good insights, but if I'm going to kind of, put them on a one-to-one basis or in competition with each other or whatever, I would take Dr. Pia as a full-time, person on the show, and take Devon as more of a friend of the show, or a friend expert that comes on occasionally, right? Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if you agree or not. Now let's get on into this, these couples events. And so they had the men's baseball versus the women's bartending, right? Now down to the men's baseball, listen, the Gordon's fishermen, listen, you need to stay to the rivers, streams, and lakes that you used to, okay? Because you are something terrible on land, okay? Listen, it was just, he could not hit the ball. It just kept flying past him. They had to take down the damn speed a little bit, but he finally seemed to get it together, okay? Now, down to the conversation, they were talking about stuff that we already knew of, okay? Clint's having problems with Gina in a relationship in terms of no intimacy. So is Airris. And, they're just sharing those commonalities. But it was really focused more so on Shaq and what he's going through in his relationship, right? Now, conversely, the women's bartending event, first and foremost, though, in terms of this second thing, I thought it was funny that Gina, I couldn't tell whether Mama was throwing shade at the event or whether she was saying that the dude is much more advanced than her, okay? Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think it was, okay? Because for me, it sounded like she was saying that he was much more advanced than her. She said at her bar, they would just be, chucking beers back and forth, and it was simple stuff, and he doing all this, gastrology and science-based bartending stuff. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about that. But the main takeaway from the women's bartending event was just how broken Jasmine seems to be, okay? Like I told y'all last week, she seems to be, winding back that sort of emotional, those emotional ties to Airris, which is what you do when you go into self-protective mode, okay? I told y'all last week, we have all been in situations where you knew that the relationship wasn't going to pan out, and so even though you're physically there, you start removing your emotions from the mix, okay? And what I think we saw in real time with her sitting down with them girls is just the emotions bubbling out in a safe space, okay? So sometimes you got to cry it out, sometimes you got to get it out. Is it pretty? No, but those emotions have to come out. They're clearly not able to come out in her damn marriage, so it has to come out somewhere, okay? Life is like that. If you don't get your damn emotions out on one side, they have a pesky way of coming out on the damn other side, right? So that gives us a good segue into Jasmine and Airris. So let's get on into it. So they sat down with Dr. Pia, and it's kind of like this battle of, Miss Emotionally Spent versus Mr. Call Me Out, right? So as I said before, Jasmine's emotions, she's kind of like removed them from the situation, okay? How many times can you be told on national TV, baby, on this damn platform that you don't find me attractive, you don't find me sexually attractive, you don't see it for us in that respect, okay? But the interesting nugget that I gleaned from that interaction was I didn't realize that touch was removed entirely, okay? It's a very difficult and awkward situation to be up in an apartment, okay, with somebody that you're married to, that you're supposed to be building these commonalities with, that you're supposed to be building this deeper connection with, and y'all don't even touch, okay? Y'all already took sex off the damn plate until after the damn experiment, okay? But y'all ain't holding hands, y'all ain't hugging, y'all ain't even kissing on the cheek, okay? So listen, I really thought that was kind of like the kiss of the kiss of death of the whole situation. Because if y'all are not even touching entirely, and if she's already moving her emotions from the situation, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump before it's a no on decision day, right? Now, when she was talking to Airris, which I found strange, right? It seemed to be he was Mr. Call Me Out, right? And she was kind of like, I got your number. I see you in terms of what would make you more excited, what would make you more engaged in this situation, right? And from what Airris said, it seems like her calling him out or holding his feet to the fire or holding him accountable for his, actions or whatever, that's going to turn him on. So Jasmine, listen, I'm all about unorthodox methods, okay? So if you need to call him out and basically, put his shit on Front Street, then maybe you're gonna have to do that, okay? Listen, when you wake up in the morning, just talk to that man. Wake up! Okay, wake your sleepy ass up. Cha-cha slide down to GNC and get you some damn energy pills. Okay, open your eyes. All right, whatever you got to do to get the man to where he needs to go, do it. But listen, if you let the truth be told, you could do everything up under the sun and that thing still ain't gonna be working how it needs to go. Okay, but I thought that was really funny in terms of him saying, her calling him out is going to create some sort of rise in him in terms of attraction. Full of shit as far as I'm concerned, but it gave me a good key in order to cut some of the tension of that damn scene, right? Now let's move on to this whole thing that we find out about Pastor Cal instructing Airris to clap on the wedding day. Now listen, do I believe it happened? Yes, okay? Do I have a problem with it? Yes and no, right? I think that, the road to hell is always paved with good intentions, as they say, okay? And I think that it was a good thing, right, that Pastor Cal was trying to help Airris kind of on the front end to say, no matter how you're feeling in the moment, clap for her, show her that energy. Think about it. Who wants to walk down the aisle to their husband, okay, and that man is just standing there stone-faced, he don't have no emotion, and he don't even see it for you in that moment, okay? It's going to start the marriage at a negative level off the jump. Even if it was that way, underneath the surface, at least give the appearance, okay, that you're trying to know this person, meet this person, and kind of try to get to a better level of understanding, right? So I thought, like I said, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, okay? My question to Airris, though, is why bring it up? Like, why bring it up? I'm all about a cost-benefit analysis, okay? And in that moment, I just don't understand. I think he was talking to her family member, sister, cousin, or something like that, right? All I know is that it wasn't Fallon, okay? It damn sure wasn't hating ass Fallon, okay? But I just don't understand why bring it up, okay? Because to me, if Pastor Cal did say those words to Airris, I don't think it was meant to be said in a kind of telephone way, okay? It was not said to him in order for him to ever tell his wife, okay? So I don't really know the purpose of it, and it kind of seems a bit mean-spirited. You can guise it as kind of being, honest and trying to be forthcoming in terms of where the attraction first, was at a dearth in the relationship, but in a cost benefit analysis, I just don't feel like this was pertinent information that will help y'all get to a better plane of a relationship, right? So I'm kind of side-eyeing Airris more than I'm side-eyeing Pastor Cal, okay? Because I'm all about intentions, and it doesn't seem to be steeped in malice. It seems to be steeped in trying to get them, off on a good start, but everything that's told to you doesn't need to be told to somebody else, right? Now, as far as I could see, right, it seems like Dr. Pia had an activity for everybody, okay? Like you had, the ropes and the feathers and the chests and all this other stuff. I could not find what the activity was between Jasmine and Airris, okay? Listen, if it was the cooking segment, that shit looked like it was sponsored by HelloFresh, okay? So I don't think that was organic or helpful to them in terms of where they are in their relationship and where they need to go, okay? How you gonna give me an activity to get closer to my spouse sponsored by HelloFresh? Like, it does not give, understanding or that y'all was trying to help them in any way, shape, or form except for yourself and that damn sponsorship income. Y'all need to do better, Married at First Sight producers, okay? Because that was messed up, right? So no activity for them to get closer together. I guess you could say the cooking helped them to get closer together, but hell, after Airris told that thing about Pastor Cal, it seems like it just made the chasm between them even wider, right? And let's get on into this third point in terms of this whole lack of confrontation skills. And we covered this a few episodes ago, right? Jasmine said that growing up, she never saw her parents fight, okay? She never saw them fight. She never saw them disagree. And so, I said before that you need those kind of things as a kid, not to view your parents fighting and going back and forth and being difficult and it getting nasty, right? You need to see them fighting because your parents are your first introduction to interpersonal relationships, right? And what does that interaction tell you? Everything is surmountable, okay? You can have a disagreement, you can talk about it, and then you can get past it, okay? And her not seeing that as a child kind of put her at a detriment in terms of her relationships because she doesn't know how to lift up every voice and sing and say what's on her heart, okay? So the lack of confrontation skills, this is why it boils over in the women's bartending event, okay? Because if you're not getting these things out to the person who's the source of your issues or whatever, you're just going to keep bottling it up and it's going to keep coming out in different ways, right? So I don't know whether it's therapy, whether it's unlearning bad behavior, or whether it's some combination of the two, right? But this relationship aside, because I think that we can all see the writing on the wall in this situation, this relationship aside, you're going to need that in future relationships, okay? Hell, future friendships, relationships, acquaintanceships, whatever the case may be. If you can't confront people with how you're feeling, listen, in the eternal words of Maya Wilkes from Girlfriends, how will you ever get your meat the way you want to if you don't open your damn mouth, okay? Listen, now she was talking about something nasty there. Y'all go back and watch that episode. I forget which one it was, but I love me some Girlfriends. I'm getting off track, okay? But these are skills that you have to develop in any kind of relationship that you have in your life, okay? And this whole lack of confrontation skills, it's something that you're going to have to overcome because this relationship aside, it will serve you well in the future. Now let's move on to Kirsten and Shaq, right? And let's talk about this whole thing of Shaq being low energy on their trip. Now, as a viewer sitting at home, I was wondering in that whole exchange where they were on FaceTime, why Shaq's energy was so low, okay? Why Shaq's energy was so low. He just seemed, defeated, sad. It looked like he took some of whatever Airris be taking all the time, allegedly, because y'all ain't gonna sue me, okay? But it just seemed like I couldn't decide whether he was through with the situation, through with her, or just tired from all the travel, right? Now we come to find out that he was low energy because they had had an agreement prior to the situation that she was going to come along on the trip with him. And at the last minute, she decided that she didn't want to come. She had made plans independent of him and she did not communicate it with the man, right? So listen, in the eternal words of Portia Williams, and I say this so many times on this damn channel, when you do something to me, you do not get to choose my reaction, okay? And context is so important, okay? Having that context that the prior situation happened makes that scene make so much more sense, okay? And he's low energy because you're over here bubbly or whatever and trying to have a conversation and converse like, all is biscuits and gravy when this man is feeling a certain way. Number one, I gotta work. Number two, I gotta be away from you. And number three, you made a decision at the damn, ninth hour to not come with me when that was the agreement that we had in the first place. Okay. So when you do something to me, you don't get to choose my reaction. Now they sit down with Dr. Pia and we have this whole masculine pause. Now listen, y'all, I felt so bad for Shaq in that moment. I truly did, because it's like, how much can a man take? Okay, not even a man. How much can anyone take in that situation? Whenever you ask somebody a question, okay, and it is a extended pause, 9 times out of 10, that shit means no, okay? It means whatever the negative aspect of it. She asked, do you find Shaq to be masculine? That lady waited months, years, and eternities before she basically said, yeah, he's masculine. Girl, say what you mean and mean what you say. Stay 10 toes down in whatever your damn mindset is at the time, okay? And that's the thing I can't take with her sometimes. It's always that whole Southern Belle thing, that whole trying to be proper thing, and then on the back end you doing all this damn hell and foolishness, in the damn relationship, okay? At this point, you might as well, hell, y'all got 2 weeks, okay? 2.5 weeks till decision day. You might as well put all the shit on Front Street, okay? What is the point of trying to pretty it up in a bow right now? Say how you feel and mean what you say. Stay 10 toes down, okay? Now listen. She says that she's used to a more, masculine man, a more dominant man. He doesn't seem to have a lot of aggression, not bad aggression, but aggression in terms of like dominant energy, right? And so the thing about it is this. Lisa Fisher has a song that goes, how can I ease the pain? Okay? How can I ease the pain when I know you're coming back again? Okay? And relating it to this situation, baby, how can he feel comfortable in the relationship if at every turn, if at every junction, if at every corner, you're trying to question something that's inherent to him, okay? Like, how can I ease the pain when you about to bring the pain back once again, okay? That's essentially, the segue I'm making between the song and what's going on here. Listen, at the beginning, you didn't like, my physical. You didn't like my attractiveness. I wasn't attractive to you, okay? Then it was, I'm not giving you enough attention, so I up my attention level. Then last week, baby, I don't make enough money for you to support you in terms of you not wanting to put any finances into the damn relationship, okay? And now this week, I'm not masculine, I'm not dominant, I'm not aggressive. Like, at what point do you have to realize that it's put up or shut up time, okay? At the end of the day, I can only make so many changes before I lose myself in the process, okay? And what we're seeing is that fundamentally, you just don't like me, okay? And that's okay. That is okay, right? You are entitled to feel how you want to in life. You are entitled to operate and to create your life the way you want to, but don't try to make me believe that we're moving on to a better plane of a relationship, a better connection between us two, when it's really all of these things that you're trying to change on me on the back end, okay? Say what you mean and mean what you say. Stay 10 toes down in your damn understandings and your opinions, okay? It irritated me, okay? Because she leads him into this false sense of security. And every time he feels, a little bit okay, a little bit on steady footing, she pulls the rug from up underneath him, okay? And that's not kind. It's okay to want what you want in life, but it's not okay to treat people funky just because you feel it on that day, okay? You got to have some interpersonal connections and some interpersonal ties to realize that the energy you put out is sometimes the energy that you receive back, okay? No energy is lost, okay? You put it back out in the universe, it gets recycled and it comes back to you tenfold, okay? So that's why you always want to lead with positivity. You always want to lead with being kind. Even if you're trying to tell your truth, there's a way to tell it tactfully without putting that person in a negative position, right? And so on the Shaq side, he says he doesn't feel supported. How could he? How could he feel supported in the relationship? How could he feel secure in the relationship? You have literally winded back everything that was me, okay? Everything that I knew about myself, everything that I was comfortable with myself, and fundamentally, you just don't like me. So how can I feel supported? How can I feel comfortable, okay? To me, the writing's on the wall in this one too, because I think Shaq is kind of having that Oprah aha moment, right? Where nothing I do is ever going to be good enough. There's always going to be some caveat, some but, something that you're holding back from me that's going to be like a gimme gotcha. And nobody wants to be in a relationship where they never end up feeling any sort of comfortability in the situation, okay? It can't last. Now, she gives them an activity in terms of, these little, she gives them a rope basically, or a series of things that she has to find around the apartment, and is basically trying to loosely give Shaq the upper hand in terms of being able to lead her, being able to show that he can be like this leader, this force or whatever, this dominant personality or whatever. And, it's okay to role play. It's okay to do that. But if those things are not innate to who you are, then they're not sustainable, right? So I'm all a factor of being 10 toes down in who you are, okay? If y'all are just not a match in terms of she wants something different than what you can provide, then that's okay. And on decision day, I think we already know what the decision is going to be between these two. But, it was nice to see that even though she protested in terms of having the blindfold and said she was going to rip it off, and he, wrapped a rope around her, he can lead into those dominant, characteristics. I don't even know if it's dominant characteristics because it's more role play at the end of the day, right? But I think the central thing in that exercise was trust, right? Do you trust me to lead you to where you need to go? Do you trust me to have your best interest at heart, to not try to hurt you, okay? So maybe in doing that, maybe in kind of unlearning some of her bad Southern Belle-based behavior, they can get to a better plane of a relationship. But I don't really see it for them as a couple in terms of this being a way for them to continue on in this situation, right? Because at the end of the day, he's going to lose himself trying to, acclimatize to what she wants in the relationship, right? Now let's move on to Nicole and Chris. They sit down with Dr. Pia, and they basically have this conversation with her talking about this notion of hate sex, and him talking about this notion of he was only wanted for sex in prior relationships, right? Now let's start with her first. Y'all, I went up so hard for Nicole in this episode, right? She was talking about this hate sex, she knew the dude wasn't good for her. She just wanted to feel wanted, and she was doing this more so out of obligation, she was doing it more so out of obligation than what she actually wanted for herself, right? Y'all, I have been in situations like that. Listen, when I first came out and just started to explore, my sexuality and this lifestyle and stuff like that, I kind of ended up in situations where I would always put somebody's needs ahead of my own, okay? Like, my motto was, as many times as you can get it up, it's my job to get it down, okay? But built in that is some sort of, lower class dependency in terms of me seeing myself lower in the relationship than I saw him. You understand? And so I feel like that's kind of what she was going through in her relationship. She did things out of obligations, not necessarily because she wanted to, okay? And you have to unlearn that bad behavior because, as long as life is, right, and as many relationships and occurrences and people that you will meet, you have to kind of unlearn bad behavior because every situation is different. And that's what Dr. P was trying to get her to realize. You're in a safe space in this relationship. This is not reflective of your past situation, right? And so you not wanting, a whole bunch of foreplay or not advocating for that whole foreplay because you're more interested in, his needs and his concerns. In a small way, it's related to your past trauma, okay? And what I really, really loved about that scene with Dr. Pia and Nicole is that sometimes you have to recognize what people need, okay? And yes, this was the sex and intimacy, episode or whatever, but it was good that she's a psychologist and a sex expert, because in that moment, she didn't need a sex expert. It was more a therapy-based expert, a psychologist that she needed, okay? Because there were issues underlying under the surface in terms of why she approaches sex the way she did, right? Now we'll take a pause on her for a second. Let's talk about him. So Chris say that he was in situations before where he was only being wanted for sex. Now, I don't know why the Married at First Sight producers always set me up for failure. I don't know why. Chris no matter how I slice it, I just don't get sex God from you, okay? You might be that down to the bedroom. I just don't get it. To me, you are not the man that the women call for sex, okay? Women have certain men, hell, gay men too. We all have certain men that we call for certain things, okay? You got the maintenance man, you got the dude you call to help you with tax advice and stuff. Chris, you don't give me that people wanted you for sex, okay? You give me that people wanted you to dog sit they dog, okay? You give me that people wanted you to help them build their IKEA furniture, okay? To give me financial and consultation based advice, okay? To give me $50 so I could get down to payday, okay? You don't give me that the people wanted you for sex, but listen, I'm all about people telling their story, and if this is your story and you sticking to it, I'm here for it, right? Now let's move on to this whole notion of broken but not destroyed. Now, when sitting with Dr. Pia, Nicole had a kind of breakthrough in a sense, right? And she basically said, I didn't realize that I was this fucked up, right? And so she was like, don't say that about yourself. Like, don't say that ever about yourself. You are not fucked up. And that is so true, okay? Nicole has this very self-deprecating nature, okay? And it kind of puts the other person in a weird space because they don't know how to really support you through that, okay? When someone is being self-deprecating, to me, my natural inclination is to just listen, try to refute what I can, and let them get it out, okay? But I'm wondering if the whole self-deprecating thing is part of the trauma from your past relationships. And I would actually bet money that it is, okay? If you felt that you had to do sex out of obligation, it's a hop, skip, and a jump to realize that maybe you self-deprecated before he would have the chance to in terms of your past partner, right? And so I just really want to reinforce this notion that you may be broken, right? Like, we all have things that we go through in relationships. God knows I have things that I've been through in relationships, okay? You may be broken, you may have trauma, you may be traumatized, but you're not destroyed, okay? Every time you wake up, okay, we all get the same 24 in the eternal words of Candy Burris, okay? And every time you wake up is a new opportunity to change past behavior and create the future for yourself that you want, okay? So you may be broken right now, but that's only a temporary position, okay? You're broken, but you're not destroyed, okay? And I hope that, if she can't get that kind of reinforcement or that kind of love, or she can't receive it in terms of that, self-esteem or raising her self-esteem from Chris, I truly hope that she can, get into therapy, find a psychiatrist, find a psychologist, and really unpack this stuff, right? Because that's the kind of stuff that kind of stays with you. If we don't heal our past traumas, we're destined to repeat them in our current lives and beyond, right? And what Nicole saw in that situation is that she has a lot of work to do, okay? And that's okay. We all have our struggles in life, okay? Sometimes sex is the damn struggle, and you find people that can help you with that. Sometimes it's self-esteem. Sometimes it's, just like Jasmine, she moved away in terms of, and it affected her self-esteem. She didn't feel comfortable in herself. We all have something that we're dealing with, okay? But recognizing the problem is the first step, and then taking the steps to do something about them is the subsequent step. So you're broken, girl, but you are not destroyed. You are not damaged, okay? You're not damaged goods. And you can always get to a better plane of understanding, a better plane of life, and a better plane of self-love, all right? Now let's move on to Gina and Clint. And let's talk about this whole thing of no intimacy. So just like Jasmine and Airris, honey, they ain't doing nothing, okay? Listen, we already know they in separate bedrooms, okay? You on one side of the hallway, I'm on the other side of the hallway. We meet up for the, to cook in the kitchen, to chill in the living room, to play with, Hank the dog or whatever. But there's no intimacy there, right? There's no love lost. And y'all, I don't see it for a relationship with them. And I think I said this last week, like, y'all would be best as friends or consultants. Like, he could get his damn haircuts down to the salon, at a reduced family and friends rate, okay? And she can call him up when she needs a technology consultant for her business to bring it into, whatever millennia that she's in terms of trying to be more technologically savvy or whatever. Like, y'all have fringe benefits that each can benefit from, but they always say in a situation, listen, intimacy can grow, attraction can grow, okay? But baby, we got 2 weeks or less in this damn process. If it ain't happened by now, it's not going to happen, okay? And I'm a firm believer, if you don't have that kind of connection, it's very hard to build it in this, in this small amount of time that they have. Given 6 months to a year, if you actually wanted to do it, and that's the other thing, because you have to have the desire to want to fix it, right? And it seems like for both of them, they're cool with the equilibrium that they're on, okay? They built a good friendship, they have a good rapport, and to try to introduce anything else to it would kind of do more harm than good. And I fully believe that, okay? Y'all are better off as friends or as business consultant, because as far as I'm concerned, she asked this man, okay, we're going to get to that in a second. Number two, she asked this man, what would turn him on, what gets him in the mood, and she asked her the same question, right? And he basically said, scents of vanilla, not floral scents, candles, mood setting. Listen, ain't enough feathers, candles, vanilla, cinnamon in the damn world to make y'all, more intimacy related, okay? It's just not there. And I don't believe in accepting defeat. Like, I don't want to be defeatist, but at a certain point in time, you have to get to put up or shut up time, okay? You have to see the situation for what it is. You have to have clarity, okay? And if y'all are basically getting your sexual needs met, independent of one another, because when they were sitting down with Dr. Pia, she said, do you have sexual desires independent of one another? Absolutely, okay? Listen, when they leave that kitchen and when they leave that living room and them common areas and Hank is doing his own thing and they got them doors closed, baby, listen, they touching themselves something tough, okay? They are getting in there, all right? She probably got a rabbit and a bullet and a bullet and a rabbit, okay? And his hand is going at full speed, okay? Full steam ahead to the Gordon's fishermen, okay? They are getting themselves together, but it just doesn't seem to be a copacetic thing between the two of them, okay? And I fully believe in terms of what they were saying, okay? You cannot build something that's inherently not there, okay? And y'all don't have that sexual attraction, that sexual spark for one another, and that's why it's awkward, and that's why talking about it is awkward. Listen, when they was talking about how, Gina was saying he doesn't have swag, he doesn't have style, and those are the kind of things I'm attracted to sometimes. Listen, if you let the truth be told, did y'all think that she was saying or describing a black man? I was like, wait a minute. He don't got swag. He don't got style. You need that kind of stuff. Wait a minute. Okay, like the wheels started turning in my head. Gina, do you want you a black man? Let me find out that you find a black man after this damn process when y'all say no on decision day. Now let's move on, because this damn train of thought and this damn train of thinking can lead nowhere good for me, okay? Now let's get on into this damn nudes convo, right? And so I wanted to talk about this because I just found it very interesting, right? So Dr. Pia gave them a list of questions to kind of ask each other, right? And one of the questions were, the questions were kind of a sexual nature, right? Like, what's your favorite position? They basically said that they have a safe word, which ended up being tres leches, okay? My safe word is pineapple, okay? My safe word has always been pineapple. I got it from Kevin Hart from one of his specials or whatever. But I love pineapple. I love eating it, and it's a good safe word for the bedroom. Why am I on this? I be telling too much of my business sometimes. Okay, back to this news convo. So she basically asked him, are you okay with sending news? And he asked her in reverse, and they basically said that they were. Okay, Clint said that he basically, if you let him tell it, he takes a panorama view of everything, okay? And you get the cheeks and you get the, the tallynackle at the same time, okay? And he gives them a 360 view of what's going on, okay? And she said she has sent nudes in the past when she was in a relationship, and also when she was just, kicking it with somebody, in the eternal words of Escape, right? Now, interestingly enough for me, y'all, in terms of my personal story, since I'm I can't stop telling my business, so I might as well keep on going. I have a very love-hate relationship when it comes to nudes, okay? I love getting them, or I don't mind getting them, given that I'm comfortable with the person and I know them, but I have a problem sending them, okay? I have major trust issues as it relates to it. So y'all drop down in the comments and let me know whether or not, in relationships or just, dating out here, thotting and bopping in these streets, are you okay with sending nudes, y'all? When I first got into this lifestyle and, you get indoctrinated into like the gay apps and dating and all this other stuff, like you have your front facing profile, and I'm not going to mention the app just because I don't know if I need to do so for, licensing or security reasons or whatever. But when I mention the app, you have your front facing profile, which is all like your G-rated photos, right? Like you in fully clothed, you in like gym outfits or working out or whatever. And then like there's the unlocked portion where you can unlock your nudes if you choose to post them in that thing and you choose to, share them with somebody. Y'all, I think it wasn't even 6 months into, me being into this lifestyle or whatever, or me, accepting who I was and operating in that I got posted on a Tumblr blog for DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, DMV hottest men, okay? And so what people were doing was they would screenshot your profile and post it on here and try to get people to, I guess, interact with you, get your news, and post them on there, right? So I had a friend at the time who was like, oh my gosh, I was on this blog and I saw your photos there and stuff. I said, what you mean you saw my photos? So baby, listen, it was that damn cat emoji where the cat is typing on the keyboard. I flew to that damn site, okay? And luckily, listen, you can't put out, you can't get back what you don't put out, okay? And luckily I hadn't put any nudes out there, so my G-rated photos were out there, but because I had never unlocked any sort of X-rated photos for people, they didn't get those, all right? But listen, my friend wasn't as lucky, and that occurrence to me, it kind of shifted my mindset in terms of people and what they will do, okay, in order to do a kind of gimme gotcha, in order to kind of put your private moments out there. So even in relationships, I kind of have trust issues as it relates to nudes. So I really thought that was an interesting convo. Y'all know me. If I can't see 10 steps ahead in a situation, I have trouble making the first step, okay? And I think one of the things I'm going to have to deal with in my future relationships is just feeling comfortable with somebody and being able to trust them, right? Love is giving someone the ammunition to hurt you and trusting that they won't. So I have my own struggles, just like Nicole, baby, that I have to get over, right? So interesting combo with that one. But with Gina and Clint, y'all could create all the space, buy all the damn vanilla down to Costco and BJ's or whatever, rub each other with feathers, do back massages. I just don't see it for you, okay? I think it was a great thing that, the awkwardness that was in the beginning of the episode when y'all were talking about more sexual stuff, it kind of dissipated by the end of it. But to me, y'all, it dissipated in a more friendship vibe thing, okay? It seemed like two friends that were just trying out this basket of goodies with no sexual expectations behind it whatsoever, or no sexual inclinations behind it whatsoever. And I think that's really a very telling thing. So if you want to create space for intimacy, go right on ahead or whatever. Or if y'all are both still operating under that whole, we got to get around this whole pesky, don't break the contract fee, I see y'all. It's okay, all right? But it seems like to me, Gina and Clint are faking the funk if they think that there's any sort of intimacy related thing that can really be developed in, this process or the short time that they have. But y'all, I think that's really all I want to talk about on this episode. So if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, listen, baby, bump these couples, all right? I'm about to take this mask, go up in my Rolodex and find me a man. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.